confirm that you have everything on your tabletop that you need, and I'm going to explain a few things. If you don't have your kit yet, don't worry. I'm working with what we have, okay? But if you have it, or when you get it, you have a nail mat. This nail mat is what you're going to use every day when we're doing nails, which when you're working on nails, you pull this out. You work on top of this. So that way your table is protected. Your tabletop you always want to take care of. Because mats you can always replace, but tables, they're a little bit more expensive to replace. Sometimes I'll ask you, like you see in the front, just to grab butcher paper and to cover your tabletop. But for the most part, we're going to use this because it's a lot faster and easier. It takes time for the butcher paper thing. Okay? This mat here has the different shapes. Of course, it's missing one. It's got a ruler down at the bottom when we're doing measuring with our measuring our nail beds to measure out our press-ons. You have a DIY palette where you can put polishes on here. These up here you can use when you're making your flowers and such, when you're starting out. There's different things and purposes for this. It is a silicone material. It picks everything up. Every piece of glitter or lint or a little hair or fuzz that comes across, it'll get stuck. You rinse it with water and it slides right off. Nail polish that gets on here, you could just use a little bit of nail polish remover and it comes off. Over time, the paint does begin to chip up the design, but it takes time. Okay, so these are like 20 bucks. It's expensive. Take care of it. Okay, I'm not going to put it on here today because of the camera so you can see better, but do know that we will be using that every day. The other thing that you have are your fingers in your nail kit. You have 5 fingers that came in your nail kit that have the insert. While I'm talking, if you will, go ahead and load your 5 fingers. So when you're loading your 5 fingers, you're going to take your sticky tack and you're going to give it a little swirl at the sticky tack. Place the sticky tack over the top nail bed of the shrimp finger, and then you're going to insert your nail. Now, I'm going to be using the white nail tips, and I'm going to use wide nail tips so that you can see better on the screen. Okay, and once you put the sticky tack on, you're going to push down, and you all, I know I need a manicure, okay? Don't judge, okay? But you're going to push down, and there you have it. There's your nail, and it's nice and decently stuck on there for you, but you do have to give it a good push. If you have the nail fingers, if you don't have your kit and you grab the shrimp finger off the counter and it does not have the insert, just place your sticky tack over the top and make sure it's not too crazy much. Like this is way too much sticky tack on here. But place some sticky tack on there, and then you can place your nail tip right over the top and just give it a good push, and then there's your nail tip. Yeah, you can use your stands as well. If you have your the white stands, you can use those too. That works as well. Okay? So go ahead and load those while I'm finishing up talking about your table setup. Don't forget to randomly be taking pictures of your table setup or your portfolios, and then also pictures of your work. Don't forget, you're making that business portfolio piece still. Alright, today we're going to work on 2 nails as a class, but then you have some time afterwards to work on 3 nails. Is anyone going to reboot today? Is anyone drafted? Perfect, so you have plenty of time. Okay, you have at least 1 nail polish on your tabletop, if not more. You have a damping dish. With your damping dish, you're going to pour, or if you have not already poured, a little bit of acetone or polish remover on here. Now, if you have been pouring remover out at the end of your class period, that probably means you're pouring in too much and we're wasting product, right? If that gallon costs $50 and you keep pouring it down the drain, you're pouring your money down the drain. So you want to effectively be resourceful and be aware of how much product you're using and how much you're wasting. So just a little bit at a time, and besides, remember that it evaporates. So if you put a whole thing, a damping dish, if you fill it up and it sits there for an hour, it's not going to have the same potency within that hour, okay? So be aware of that. So that's your damping dish. You have your tweezers. The needle nose tweezers are the better ones, but if you have the flathead tweezers, that's fine too. If you don't have tweezers today, you can use your fingers. And then you have your manicure scissors. They're nice, small manicure scissors, so it's good for small detail. If you don't have the manicure scissors, you have the scissors at the middle of your table you can use. In your kit, you have a needle nose or a needle tip pen. It's it pops out like a regular pen, like a mechanical pencil. It has a needle that will stab you for the lead, the tip part. When you're pushing it back in, you're going to push down as if you're pushing the mechanical pencil lead out. You're going to push it down, and then against the tabletop, gently, so you don't break or bend, push the needle in. Don't push it with your finger because you're going to poke a hole in your finger, okay? So that is for very small detail. You have 3 of them in your kit. If you don't have that, no worries. Just show you how to use it, but you're not going to actually use it today. You also have a very thin nail brush if you need to make any corrections. The thinnest one that you have available. You have, of course, your sticky tack. I wanted to show you that this is the broccoli stalk rubber band I was talking to you. I found it in my kit. It was old, okay? Old rubber bands will do that. But this is the broccoli stalk rubber band I was talking about. It's nice and thick. So it's a little bit more professional to put it just one band around your polish instead of like this whole thing, right? It's nicer. So, and I saw yesterday at the store they also have white rubber band. So if you prefer white, that's fine too. All right, we talked about the nail striping tape. So you have the 4 striping tapes in your kit: white, silver, gold, and black. Sometimes the striping tape will lose the inside part, the plastic part, and then it's kind of wiggly wobbly and it's hard to work with, okay? So when this happens, that's a bummer. But to avoid that, you can put it in the nail tape container. So with this one, what you're going to do to take the actual tape off, gently squeeze the inside clamps or pull one side to pull the tape off. If you squeeze it too hard, it'll break, okay? So you can definitely use this container because it's the same size of the tape wheel, okay? And you're going to pop your nail tapes in there, and then you can use it as a regular tape dispenser. So much more easier, okay? Now they do, and then you can take the paper off, and then the tape, if you want to keep it. If not, you can pop it back in the bin. It's fine. Now, there are a variety of different nail tapes, okay? So different colors, different sizes, different textures, green, blue, yellow, purple, red, orange, pink, all kinds of different nail tapes and different sizes. The sizes can vary from small, tiny, thin to wide, okay? And there's even like a wide one. The professional dispensers look like this. It's a little thin dispenser. You open, you break it apart, you put the tape in here, you feed it through the little mouth nozzle tip part, and then you dispense from here. This is the professional ones, okay? When you're doing your nail projects, there are a variety of colors that we do have. Some of these I have are personal. Some of them belong to the school. Just ask, hey miss, do you have green? Do you have pink? Whatever, and then we can see, and you're more than welcome to borrow it for any project. Okay, so do know that that's available to you. Okay, you have your square index card. We're coloring over the top of our square nails. If you love your nail designs, you can get a new nail tip. If you just want to, I'm done with these, I hate them, I'm tired of looking at them, get you a new nail tip. But we're working off of the square index card. I don't want to see the shrimp fingers on the counters anymore because some students are starting to miss they're missing their fingers. So keep your fingers in your kit. When you're done for the day, take the nail tip off, put it on your tape. I've given everybody tape that didn't have any. And then this is what you're going to leave on the counter, and only this card. Okay? I don't want you to be missing your things. Okay? So we're working on the square nail card, and you can throw away the other nail tips if you're done with taking pictures and you don't like them. You can throw away the nail tips that you're done with. Okay? There's nail tips on the side counter if you need some more. I'm going to be using white nail tips today so you can see better on the screen. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to review a little bit of our how to polish the 3-stroke technique. Okay, we're going to review that just a little bit. whenever we're doing one of these techniques over the polish. Okay, or polish techniques over the nail. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with our finger, and let me close this up a little bit. Alright, so we're going to start off with our striping tape and our application of a basic design. So we're going to take, I'm going to use black so you can see, you can use whatever color you want. You're going to look for the striping tape, and by kind of going over the edge and finding the edge of the tape. Taking your tweezers, if you have them, if not your fingers, fine. And you're going to pull some of the tape off, hold it with the tweezer, and then cut some of that tape. What we're going to do is we're going to not touch the bottom part of the tape. Don't touch the sticky part. If you touch the sticky part, you have oils on your fingers. If you touch the sticky part, you transfer the oils to the bottom of the tape, and then the tape doesn't stick right, and then it's not going to stick on the nail plate, and then the polish is going to seep underneath and your design is messed up. So take your nail tape, place it on the knuckle, and then kind of you can wiggle it back and forth like so, okay? And then when you're ready, place it down. Try your bestest, and I know I didn't, but try your bestest to place it down one time and try not to lift it up again. Two reasons. One, the sticky goes away, and two, the sticky gets deposited onto the nail sometimes, depending on the quality of the nail tape. Once you have your line where you want it, and we're going to put it vertically down the middle, you're happy with it, you're going to take the back end of the tweezer. The back end of the tweezer, not the tip of the tweezer. Don't work with the tip of the tweezer if you have them. If not, just your fingers, fine. You're going to use the back end of the tweezer, and if you don't have a tweezer, you can use a marker or a pen. Anything that's not your finger, I guess, would be best. And you're going to push down and give it a good, little scrape. You want to make sure that that tape is fully on the nail plate. Turn the finger, and then you're going to push at the tippy tip to make sure it seals that corner edge. Okay? You put a piece of tape down the middle of the nail. Now, if you were to push with your finger and you have oil on your finger, okay, you're not going to get the sticky part of the nail tape, but you're going to get oils on the nail plate. When you get oil on the nail plate, then the nail polish doesn't stick right. So keep that in mind. And again, you can use the back of a brush or the back of a pencil for your marker if you don't have. You need tape? There's tape right here, look. You can grab some. Okay. And you just use that, something besides your finger, to push the tape down. We're going to set that to the side. We're going to then take our second finger. We're going to look for some more tape, find the end, pull some tape, cut it with your scissors. Whatever you do, try not to use your finger. Whoops. And mine fell on the tabletop, and that's probably just as worse. I'm going to hold my long strip of tape, and I'm going to place my tape. I'm going to do 3 lines of tape. Okay? I'm going to place my tape down, but I'm not going to push it down. So there's my first line. And I'm going to cut my tape. Okay? And then I'm kind of going to come and put my second line of tape, and I'm just going to gently push it down. I'm not going to seal it down. I'm going to cut that piece off. And then I'm going to pick up my last little piece of tape, and I'm going to place it down at the bottom, kind of like a French tip technique. And I just gently place the tape down. I did not push it down, just to kind of eyeball it. When I've placed my 3 stripes horizontally, evenly across the top surface of the nail plate, I'm going to go ahead and space them out. So, pick it up and just make sure it's perfectly aligned. You're happy with it. And it's parallel and it's even. Try to not to manhandle it so much. Once you place it down, try to make it like that's it. That's all you did. Because the more you lift the tape and drop it off, the less stick it's going to have, and the more possibilities for that polish to seep underneath the actual sticker. Once you line up your tape and you're happy, make sure down the edges to pull on the edges to make sure that you have a good, nice little adhesion going on the side walls of those nails. You're going to use the back end of your tweezer, not the tip of the tweezer. Because then the tip of the tweezer gets sticky and then it doesn't work very well anymore. So you're going to push in with the back end of your tweezer. You're going to push in over the top and kind of not scrape, but just give it a good little scrape in to make sure that the tape has adhered perfectly to the top surface of the nail. Okay, we're going to leave the tape as is. So on one nail you have a vertical application, and on the other nail you have 3 horizontal applications. Now, take both of them, and I want you to take a look at the shrimp nail fingers, and look how much extra tape we wasted. Right? That's a lot of tape. Tape isn't expensive, but I mean, you want it to last you a while. So, way too much. Way too much. Okay? So you want to make sure that as you're learning your products and tools and all of these art supplies, you want to learn about them. How does it move? How does it stick? How long does it last? Can I reuse it? What does the color change when I put polish over it? If I cut it, what scissors work best? Things of the sort. With this one, how much can I not waste? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take the vertical striped one. We're going to take our nail polish, turn it upside down, and give it a good little twist. Turn it right side up and give it a good little twist of the sort. Remember, we don't want to shake, we don't want to create bubbles. And we're going to do the 3-stroke technique on this nail to review yesterday. But we are not going to do 2 coats. Okay, guys, we're only going to do 1 because of time. If you don't have polish, there's polishes on the back counter, and you can use any color you choose. So let's go ahead and open up our polish. We're going to circle, rotate, clean off the stem of the polish bottle on the inside neck of the bottle. You're going to wipe the belly off from the heel to the toe of the brush, so you have product only on one side of the brush. On the side that has polish, that's the side that's going to go down. We're going to make our pinky's kiss for stability. And we're going to start in the middle, close to the cuticle, but away from it. So you're going to push your bristles down, make sure they expand, and slowly come downward in 1 stroke all the way to the bottom. And then to the right side, twist your nail a little bit, and you're going to push your bristles down. Stay away from the cuticle and scoop it down 1 stroke. And then you're going to go to the opposite side, and you're going to push your bristles down, let them expand, and make sure you do 1 solid stroke all the way down, slowly. Now, you should have a crescent shape. You should, like you see on mine here, you see the cuticle area exposed. 2 things. 1, you're learning how to create a reverse French tip. Instead of the French tip at the tip of the nail, you're creating at the cuticle area. 2, you're staying away from the cuticle. You need to be able, when you're starting out, you need to be able to see that smile line at the top between the nail polish and the cuticle. You should have an exposed nail tip. With time and practice, you're going to get closer and closer and closer to the cuticle. But when you're starting out, stay away from the cuticle. I promise you, you'll get better faster if you do that technique. We're only going to do 1 coat. Okay, so don't go back and do 2 because we need to dry fast. Let's go and put that nail down once you're done and ready with it. Then the second nail. This is kind of what it's going to look like right here. Okay, we're going to do a little stripe thingy. Mine, I placed it on the top, so I don't have a cuticle area, so ignore this top section right here, okay? I'm going to take, I can't do my 3-stroke technique on this one, okay? But I'm still going to swivel around my stem. I'm going to wipe the belly of the brush from heel to toe, making sure I have product only on one side of my nail brush and making sure it's not a lot of product because I'm working on a small space. Make my pinkies kiss. I'm going to color in the top space between the top 2 lines. Do not go over the top of the tape. Stay within your lines. Stay within your lines. You can turn your nail around, okay? And then go to the opposite side and finish your design. Remember, break down the design. It's a big space. Do little sections at a time. If you brush too fast, remember guys, these are bristles. They get away from you. So if you go slow, I promise you can control the bristles better than if you just kind of go really fast. So take your time and go slow. Then what you're going to do is at the very tip of this design, oh my nail tape popped up. At the very tip of this design with the polish that you have left over, then you can come in and you're going to polish the tip from the tape downward. I'm talking so my brush is dry, so I'm going to reload my brush here. From the tape downward, but don't push product underneath the tape.
9:30 ADA attendance reminder.
Okay, don't push product down underneath the tape. Just glide the brush over the top. And then, remember we talked about the tippy tip? Not a scientific part, but Miss Ramirez, I'm sorry, I'm not saying Miss Martinez. Miss Ramirez calls it this, the tippy tip. Turn the nail as if it's about to poke you in the eyeball. And then you should be able to see the tippy tip, the width of the nail. And with whatever is left over on your brush, don't go pick up more polish because you're going to have a gob of polish everywhere. You're going to color the tippy tip. Turn it as if it's going to poke you in the eye, and you're going to color the tippy tip of the nail. So many times on Instagram I see these beautiful nails, and then I see the tippy tip and they're not colored, and I'm like, okay. Well, it's the small details, right? Alright, so we're going to put that down. You should have one nail with a vertical line down the middle. And you should have one nail with 3 horizontal lines. And the tippy tip should be polished, then it's empty, and then the next space should be polished. If you're a nail tech and you're working on a whole hand, when you go from pinky all the way to pinky, by the time you get to the last pinky, the first pinky is dry and ready to go. So you don't have to wait. But today, we're waiting a little bit so it dries. We only did 1 coat, and we used very little polish because you wiped off polish on one side, off of one side of the brush, so it should be dry. Let's go ahead and make sure your polish bottle is closed. We don't want it to evaporate on you, the solvent to evaporate and go bad fast. So let's go ahead and take our tweezer, and if you don't have your tweezer, you can use your finger. Now, let's say this is the top surface of the nail. You're not going to just pop the tape up and off. You want to peel the tape off across the top surface of the nail. And you want to look at it. If you're peeling the tape off and that polish is lifting, put it back because it's not dry yet. And you use too much product. Okay, so here we go. Hold either with your finger or the nail tweezer, whatever. And you're going to peel the sticker away, but you're dragging it over the top surface of the nail. You're not popping up, you're dragging across, and go slow. And that should give you a nice, clean, crisp void. Really quick, show your neighbor. Hey neighbor, check out my line. That looks great. Or, oh neighbor, I know what happened. Okay. Go ahead and put that down. And the tape is not reusable, so just kind of put it off to the side. Go ahead and grab your second nail, which by now should be dry because you only did 1 coat and used very little product. And we're not going to remove all of the tape. We're only going to remove the top 2 lines. So same thing. You're going to grab the tape and you're going to go across the top surface of the nail and gently, slowly pull the tape off. If the nail polish is popping up, Kind of like when you step on gum, and it kind of like when you lift your shoe, it's like stringy. Push it back down because it's not dry. And next time, don't use so much product. Then, from the top to the bottom, you're going to take the middle stripe tape and you're going to remove that, working across the top surface of the nail plate from nail wall to nail wall. And there you have it. That's the second technique. You just created a rectangle with nice, clean, crisp lines. Okay, put your tweezers down, grab your scissors, whichever ones you have. The last stripe on the tip that created our French tip design, if this is gone, we have a French tip design here. You're going to take your tweezers and get as close as you can to the side wall on that free edge. And you're going to clip or cut the tape off. Cut the excess tape off. Because for this technique, I want the tape to be part of my design and I'm going to leave it there. So I'm going to take my scissors and as close to the side as I can. Don't leave extra because then it snags on stuff. As close as I can get, I'm going to take my little scissors and I'm going to cut the excess tape. And there you have it. So, those are the 3 techniques that we have. Creating a void, creating a sharp shape, geometric shape, or using the tape as part of your design in the nail. Take a picture of your designs. Okay? Show your neighbors, hey neighbors, check this out, look what I did. Send it to your mom, hey mom, I can do your nails now, or whoever. Okay? Those are the 3 techniques that you can use to incorporate with any nail design. Now, for your projects, just want to quickly go over your projects. I'm going to pass these out. These are the nail sticks, so you can see one of the tips kind of came off a little bit, but this is a pink nail card. Her design was pink. If you ever find a cardboard, a chipboard, or some magazine clipping that you like, hold on to it because you might use it in the future. This one, the middle one fell off. It was a rhinestone one. But this back was a gift card, she said, and it has texture on it, and it matches her sunflower design. This design here was on a shoebox that was made into a castle because Disney was a theme. So they had to do 3 different designs. They had to color the one that they chose. She chose Disney princesses, and then this was the final design. So she created that same what she drew. She created on the nails. So I'm going to pass these around so you guys can see them, but I want you to start thinking of how your projects are going to go. You're going to get your theme, you're going to draw them, color them, practice on your nail tips, and then create your final looks on nail tips and present them on a board or a presentation box or a presentation plate. A platform, if you will. Okay? That's what I have for you today.